no.
I'm not saying anything about drugs or anything like that, but we're asking, why are black women swiped on the least? And it's because we do not value other men telling us what to do, being around us, being in our lives. We don't value having their children.
Other men
we
or
have
men,
Please let her finish.
we have like, have you ever watched Divorce Court or Judge Joe Brown? It's
Those are
always a
scripted,
black woman.
ma'am.
Yeah, but that's
It's
fake. They
always
just
a-
asked me to come on there and pay me. What are
Exactly,
you
they're
talking about?
fake.
It's fake. Don't go off of that. Come on now.
I understand
That's your
that
logic
it's TV,
to go
but
back to?
why aren't they gonna ask a white woman to go on Divorce Court? Because she's not gonna be as loud and ratchet and funny
It's
and
just not
hilarious.
public. I come
White
from
women
Listen,
not going to be as entertaining.
It's
We've
not
been
gonna
the
be as
entertainment of the
entertaining.
country since
That's
before.
why they're gonna
Ladies,
hire
what she's trying to say
TV.
is that
We've been the
in one of
entertainment.
the worst times to be an African American, black families were together. Black women stood by their black men, as she was saying before, right? So what she's saying now is that fairly equal across the board nowadays, right? And you can argue that minorities might even have an advantage over Caucasians.
Yeah.
And the stereotypes of black women are worse now than they were back then, is what she's trying to
They
articulate.
are. Yes.
because we have social media.
Right.
Well, no, because we are given, I would argue, too much freedom to do whatever we want, and not being held back by some semblance of modesty has made us, like, for the most part, run around in the streets like lawlessly.
Yeah, but
What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got Fresh and Fit. The question is, why are black women the least desired on Tinder? Right now, for me, I've had Tinder. And you know, I never knew that was an issue. You know, but I went to an HBCU also, right? So I was always around black women. So, you know, my options were very short. It was only the black women, and there's no issue with that. Don't sit over here. Oh, well, what's the problem with that? There's no issue. I love black women. Right? If I didn't, I wouldn't even have this channel. But at the end of the day, man, you know, and they're going to be talking about stereotypes, right? And this sister right here with the glasses, she is so articulate. And she articulated the point, right, where other sisters got upset with that, right? And pretty much these two sisters, right? You're going to see the stereotypes that she is talking about. That these two sisters here, the one in the pink and the other one, are pretty much proven. They're proving the stereotypes. And Myron said something so profound. He's saying that there are stereotypes that are based off of truth, that have truth in it or whatever, right? But he said that it is up to you as that person to curb that stereotype, or not even, you can't even change the stereotype, not show people that you aren't a part of that stereotype, right? The biggest thing for black folk, for black men, right, when it comes down to stereotypes, if a black man is sagging, he's somehow a thug, right? If a black man has dreads, you know, he's a thug. You know, he's in the hood or whatever. Just because you might have dreads or you're sagging, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a thug or whatever. But because the black men who go to jail, a lot of them have dreads and a lot of them sag. They're going to automatically say, okay, well, men who wear dreads and men who wear their pants below their butt are thugs, right? Even though, like, once again, that's not always the case, but it's a stereotype that is true to some degree, right? That is true to some degree. When you look at a lot of your thugs, what are they wearing? They're sagging their pants and they have dreads, right? So, you know, there's a lot of stereotypes. And also, I was just talking to somebody. They're saying that they're seeing more black police officers with dreads. I have never in my life saw a police officer with dreads. But why though? Why are we now seeing this? Because there was a stereotype, right? There's a stereotype. You could slowly, I guess you could slowly change it if they start putting more black men into the police force. But once again, right, there's still a stereotype there. So with this sister right here with the glasses, she's hitting it on the head, and you have two sisters proving her point. They're proving her point, right? You see one sister, she's sitting over here, they're cutting her off. And she's just, okay, hey, I'm gonna let y'all get it off. Right? This is the type of sister that we love. Black women are loud and you know, very outgoing. They're gonna talk to you, right? They're gonna voice their opinion. Let's just be real. She's the opposite, right? She's articulate. So let's go ahead and jump into this video.
The stereotypes about black women are born from a place that is true, We can, and I say we as a collective, like we can be aggressive, we can be assertive, we can be masculine, we can basically disregard the family unit. Like, and I'll summarize this, but Thomas Sowell writes about it that post slavery and the Reconstruction era and in the Jim Crow era in the 50s, 60s, where it's like the most racist, the Black nuclear family was still intact. Mother, father in the home with all the children.
And she has not said anything wrong. She has not said anything wrong. And as I said before, she's very articulate, right? Black women have the stigma that they are loud, that they're gonna talk to you crazy, very aggressive, right? And like she said, they're pushing that family tradition away, right? And that is a fact. Look at your city girls. Look at a lot of your Black women. They talk about hot girl summer. Hot girl summer means what? You're going out here, being a hoe, sleeping around, sucking around, whoever you want. And then you're then going to say, okay, once the summer's over, now it's time for me to go ahead and become a good girl, become a school girl. A lot of your sisters are doing that. Hot girl summer, city girls. And a lot of your women in America have that mindset. A lot of your Black women have that mindset, right? When you look at the shade room, there are tons and tons and tons of women who have the same mindset of those sisters that's in the shade room. That is a fact, right? That is a fact. If you want to be technical, the shade room makes up Black culture. I'm gonna just be real with you. The shade room makes up the Black culture. Back in the Jim Crow era, families were tight as I don't know what, because we all needed each other. Men and women needed each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, once again, right? Once the 1960s come, feminism infiltrated the Black family. Black women saying, hey, well, you know what? I want to be able to sleep around with who I want to sleep around with, and you get what you got today.
Post the 70s, second wave, third wave, radical feminism that told you have sex with whoever you want and then kill the child after, has given us a sense of like, well, my body's not important, my family's not important, having a man is not important. Our music tells us that. Like, country music's not telling anyone to divorce their husband. It's rap music that's telling us like, get rid of your man, you don't need him. So like,
Facts.
those stereotypes are born from a true place. It has nothing to do with racism. You know, no offense to anyone who brought it up, but like in the most racist time in America, the Black family was intact. So it has nothing to do with that.
Don't you see that was a problem for them?
That's why she bought the book. She makes sense. That's a good breakdown.
Oh man,
that was great.
Oh,
That was
God.
the most racist time in America when slaves were free.
Well, I would argue that freeing the slaves was the least racist thing that could be done at the time.
So you're quoting that the most unracist time in America.
Well,
The
keep
most
in
racist
mind,
time in America is what you said.
Well, keep in
were
mind that
after
only
slaves were free.
1%, less than 1% of the population in 1860, where slavery was at its highest, actually owned slaves.
So did you forget of the
99%
drug
did not own
epidemic that
slaves.
came about in the 60s and 70s that actually split apart the Black families along with the
And you see how this sister's trying to move the goalposts, right? What she's saying is, what the sister with the glasses is saying is, man, since 1970s, you having women saying, hey, you know, feminist this, feminist that. We don't want to be a part of no fan. We don't want to be with no man. We don't want to have no man telling us what to do, right? And once again, you see how this sister over here in the pink is proving a point, cutting her off. You see she's getting aggressive. You see that she's getting aggressive, and now she's moving the goalposts. Well, what about the drugs? You know what I'm saying? The drugs messed up the family. I don't necessarily think the drugs messed up the family. I think it did mess up neighborhoods. You know, I think it kept people from progressing, you know what I'm saying? Because look, we all know. I mean, if y'all watch the show Snowfall with Franklin and his dumb ass dating that damn girl that he's dating, they talk about that. They talk about how government put drugs into the neighborhoods. If anything, man, I don't think it destroyed families, but I think it destroyed some lives. But I don't think it ever adversely impacted any families at all. Right? If anything, let's just be real. A lot of your hoods, they were selling what? Weed, right? They were selling weed before coke and cocaine and all that shit came in, right? So once again, this girl, she's proving the sister's point, right? The sister in the pink is proving the other sister's point, but you also can see, man, she's just out here trying to move the goalposts and just trying to start an argument, right? Drugs has nothing to do with a family being dysfunctional and women don't want to be in those families. Drugs has nothing to do with that.
Feminist.
Well, the drug epidemic, that's an entirely separate thing. Like you get into
So it has nothing to do with black people, African Americans. It wasn't targeted to African American communities.
Well, I don't know about a specific community being targeted, but I mean, black people.
Okay, I rest my case.
What did you rest?
I don't think we're talking about dating apps specifically, right? Like I'm not saying
No.
And she's saying she rests her case. Like, see, once again, this is moving the goalposts. This is moving the goalposts. The sisters just sitting over here saying, man, look, here's why, man, a lot of your sisters tend to be undesirable. And a lot of your sisters, here's what they contributed into a lot of these broken homes, right? This is just saying, well, if the drugs didn't affect black folk or whatever, it's not like you're talking about individuals. We're talking about the nuclear family, not about individuals.
No.
I'm not saying anything about drugs or anything like that, but we're asking why are black women swiped on the least? And it's because we do not value other men telling us what to do, being around us, being in our lives. We don't value having their children.
Other men
we
or
have
men,
Please let her finish.
we have like, have you ever watched Divorce Court or Judge Joe Brown? It's
Those are
always a black
scripted,
woman.
ma'am.
Yeah, but that's
It's
fake. They
always
just
they're
asked me to
fake.
come on there and pay me. What are you
Exactly, they're
talking about? It's fake. Don't go off of that. Come on now.
I understand
That's your
that
logic
it's TV,
to go
but
back to?
why aren't they gonna ask a white woman to go on Divorce Court? Because she's not gonna be as loud and ratchet and funny
It's
and
just not
hilarious.
public. I come from
It's not going to be as entertaining.
It's
We've
not
been
gonna
the
be as
entertainment of the
entertaining.
South. We said
That's why they're
before.
gonna
Ladies,
hire
what she's trying to say
TV.
is that
We've been the
in one
entertainment.
of the worst times to be an African American, black families were together. Black women stood by their black men, as she was saying before, right? So what she's saying now is that fairly equal across the board nowadays, right? And you can argue that minorities might even have an advantage over
Beyond.
Caucasians.
Yeah.
And the stereotypes of black women are worse now than they were back then, is what she's trying to
They
say.
are. Yes.
Because we have social media.
Right.
Well, no, because we are given, I would argue, too much freedom to do whatever we want, and not being held back by some semblance of modesty has made us, like, for the most part, run around in the streets like lawlessly.
Yeah, but isn't
so
that-
it
we-
doesn't reflect well on us as a whole.
So
you don't think
when a
it's
man is
more
swiping on Tinder, he's gonna be like, well, she's black, she runs in the street, she's loud, she's obnoxious, she's aggressive, she's
But
masculine,
that's
she's
a
rude.
thing of free will. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
And she's saying that, right? You see one of the sisters saying, well, that's free will. But understand, man, see, that's what women wanted, right? Women in the 60s, 70s, they wanted that free will. They wanted to have that freedom to go out here and go sleep around. But what comes with that is men not wanting you. Men saying, hey, man, look, I don't want no chick, man, that's been around the block. Women wanting to go out here and go sleep around and have the freedom to do whatever they wanted to do affected the black family, because now you're sitting over here saying, well, you know, hey, men get to go out here and go sleep around, but I can't, right? So men aren't going to sit over here and try to marry you, right? Which is why some men saying, I don't even want to deal with that shit. Don't even want to deal with a chick like that. Don't even want to go down that route, right? This is why some men jump over here and mess around with other races of women. But when you have free will, when you want to have that free will to do as you please, listen, this is America, quote unquote. You can have your free will, but like, let's be real. Just because you can have free will doesn't mean you can just do any and everything that you want and people are just going to overlook that. It's just not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. Yes, you have free will, but at the end of the day, it's all about what you do with that free will. If you want to go out here and use your free will to just mess off and just F up your value, then okay. But understand, man, no man is going to want you, right? No man is going to want to deal with that. No man is going to want to deal with a woman, man, who's been around the block, who has an attitude, who's this, who's that.
Which means if your free will, it means
Your
that
free will
you
is to be
behave.
masculine and aggressive and assertive.
Yeah, you're
and
controlling your
that.
actions.
Right.
However, the man does not have to deal with that. Like he doesn't have to. So if he sees a black girl,
He
she
assumes.
may fit that stereotype. She has I'm going to say 70% chance of fitting that stereotype. Why should he bet on that 70% when he can swipe right?
70?
Not 70.
I'm just
Not
gonna,
70.
Are you that
I just
way?
made up that
A
number.
black woman, are you?
Hey, so y'all see how all the black women, she was like, see, no, not 70. Well, she's coming from her point of view. She's saying for her, 70%. So you can't sit up here and tell somebody, well, you know, hey, I believe like it's 70%, and you tell somebody no, and you not even, it's her own opinion. You trying to tell her no. Then here's my issue. Here's my issue with this other one. You have her saying, well, are you part of that 70%? I mean, does it look like she's part of that 70%? Doesn't look like she was part of that 70%. And even then, she didn't say all. She didn't say 100%. She didn't say 100%. She said 70%. right? You know, this is where that sister is being disingenuous and proving this other sister right, proving the stereotype to be true, right? You're getting upset because of what she is saying. And I hate when women sit up here and say, well, you know, that's not all, you know, you can't just assume that. But it's like, people, listen, these chicks who are saying you can't assume that are the exact reason why she even said that in the first place. The exact reason why she said 70% in the first place, right? See, a lot of you women don't like to be in that negative percentile, right? They don't want to be in that negative percentile. So they will sit up here and say, well, you can't prove that, you can't show me that, or whatever. But the proof is in the pudding. All they got to do is just be around you, kick it with you to see that, yeah, this girl ain't all that. Yeah, this girl got a loud mouth. And like I said, people stereotype. You can look at a woman, I'm not gonna lie, you can look at some sisters, you can tell they probably on some ish. Let's just be real. And then 9 times out of 10, they are probably on that ish. I'm just being real with you. Women sit up here and say, you haven't been around, you can't sit over here and group all black women together. I'm not grouping all black women together, but damn near every sister I have been around since I was freaking 5 or 6 years of age, they have all had the same type of attitude, same mannerisms, same, everything damn near the same. Now, I'm not saying all the women that I've been around. I'm not saying all black women that I've been around, but majority of the sisters that I've been around tend to have the same attitude, tend to have the same excuses, the same ways of living. Oh, well, you don't goddamn go out, you don't venture out. People, I've been to South Carolina, I've been to freaking Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. I've been to Florida numerous of times, right? I've been to Virginia, I've been to West Virginia, I've been to Maryland. Everywhere I go, sisters have the same mannerisms. They tend to have the same issues that every other sister have in this world. Being loud, not being stubborn, not wanting to listen, wanting to freaking sit over here, listen to city girls and live that type of lifestyle.
That way.
So
Yo, you guys are perpetuating the stereotype by cutting her off.
Yeah.
Real talk. She's trying to articulate her point, and y'all, who cuts her off? The black girls at the table. Y'all, real talk, are perpetuating the stereotype even further. Here's the thing: stereotypes exist in some semblance of reality and some semblance of truth. It's upon you as the individual to prove that stereotype wrong. Here, me and him, we're black too. I get stereotyped. I walk in a store, they think I'm going to steal. They think I'm a bad person. They think I'm a criminal. Girls walk by me on the street, they cross the street, etc. It is what it is. I accept that. It's on me to prove the stereotype wrong because I understand that stereotypes typically are in some form truth.
Yeah.
But when you continue to perpetuate the stereotype, all you do is reinforce the negative stereotype of the race of which you are by proving them right. So I look at it like, no, speak well. Don't be an idiot. Don't listen to, hip hop music that perpetuates a certain stereotype. And if you want to listen to it, it is what it is. But if you actually enact on it, fuck all dudes, I don't need a man, blah, blah, blah. This is why so many guys are like, yo, I don't want to deal with black women because they think that that's a stereotype. Now, are all black women like that? No, of course not.
Obviously, yeah, no.
But, right, there's this mantra out there that, yo, she could act like this. There's a high likelihood she acts like this. So I'm going to go with what's probable versus what's possible.
Can I ask you?
And he hit it on the head. And he even said it, the last part he said, a lot of your women, a lot of your sisters will look at, some of the shit that they hear in rap music and try to mimic that in real life. Where, some sisters will say, well, what about rap for men? Right? It's always a tick for tack for a lot of women, right? If you sit over here and critique them with one thing, they're going to try to critique you with one thing when it's like, it's about you though. But, right, let's go ahead and talk about men and rap. Boys with rap. Boys, see, a lot of your women would say, well, look at your boys today. They listen to rap and they go out here and go shoot and doing this. Do y'all understand that before rap, right, before your major rap, I'm talking about Eazy-E, NWA, and even before then, 2 Live Crew and all them people, they were still in the hood, doing hood shit, killing folk or whatever. And this is before rap even came around. So to then sit up here and say, well, rap is the reason why a lot of these boys are running in the street, that's false. This is what they grew up in. When you grow up in the hood, rap has nothing to do with how you're growing up in the hood. The hood is the hood. That's where you live. That's where you grow up, right? And people try to say, well, he out here selling dope and trying to have sex with all these women. That's because he learned that from rap. No, he didn't. That's what he grew up around. That's what his life has consisted of since he was a child. And then on top of that, when you look at NWA, people ask them, well, why do y'all rap the way y'all rap? And they said, we only talking about what we see outside of our homes.
Your songs, they glamorize the lifestyle of gangs, guns, drugs.
Our art is a reflection of our reality. What you see when you go outside your door?
I know what I see.
And it ain't glamorous.
You get AKs from Russia and cocaine from Colombia.
And ain't none of us got a passport, so...
Rap is a byproduct of what you saw in the hood. And I'm talking about the egregious rap that you see. That is the byproduct of what you see in the hood. Hood started rap, not rap starting hood. Rap didn't start the hood. Rap didn't start people going out here shooting or whatever, right? People who were out here shooting, doing all that stuff started rap, i.e. Eazy-E. Right? So, like I said, man, you know, there's always going to be a stereotype. There's always going to be a negative stereotype. It's up to you to change it, or it's up to you to say, hey, you know what? That's not who I am. That is false. I'm gonna move differently. That's all you have to do. But to sit up here and try to down another sister because she's speaking facts, nah, you just proving her point. Y'all do me a huge favor. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me subscribe.